As promised, we are back, and we are joined by Gerin Gaskin. I think we mistakenly said he is with us, and it is a beautiful she.
And this lovely, beautiful
that
she
is with us.
us.
And Gerin, first of all, we want to just talk a little bit about your background. Tell us about your studies and your interest in autism and how it developed.
Sure. So my interest in autism spawns from my brother. He got a diagnosis at the age of 3, and I became really interested in effective ways to teach children with autism. I worked with adults and children on the spectrum and children that are at risk for autism for the past 10 years.
And you're in school right now. You're an advanced graduate student at Claremont Graduate University, studying developmental psychology.
Yes.
That's pretty exciting.
Yes, it is really exciting. Yeah, I'm at the final stages of launching my dissertation and collecting data, and we're actually doing a study looking at parent-child relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at, it's an online intervention. It's really brief, but it should be really, I'm hoping that it'll be enjoyable for parents.
Okay.
And that it's about under an hour to complete.
And are you interested in having more people participate in that?
Absolutely.
Could you use a few people? Okay.
Yes,
we will
definitely use
Where
people.
can we send people so that they can participate in that if they're interested?
Yeah, so you can email me at either gerin@seabeneath.org, and I can actually give you guys a URL for the survey as well.
Great, and we'll make sure that we do that. And
Okay.
See Beneath, by the way, you guys, is SEE Beneath.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we see beneath the autism.
So let's talk
Okay.
about this really, really great app you have, this animated video series that was developed. You developed it with a close friend. You met Casey Hoffman and also Jim Turner, and you created the Aiko and Egor pilot in 2011, and your nonprofit See Beneath became a nonprofit in 2012. Tell us about the Aiko, spelled, is that the way I pronounce it? Aiko or Aiko?
Aiko.
Aiko.
Yeah.
Aiko, and Egor, EGOR. Tell us about that program.
Sure. So Aiko is the purple whale character, and then Egor is the orange blowfish character.
Okay.
And we created the characters based upon some children that we actually worked with when they were really young. And one of our little girls that we worked with, her name was Aiko, and she would carry around a purple whale.
Oh.
And we just fell in love with her. And then another little girl that we've worked with previously, her first word was Egor. And so it was just like a really big deal when, experiencing that with her.
Sure.
So we decided to name the characters that, and we created the pilot. We got feedback from researchers at UCSD and some parents about ways to improve the video content and make it easier for kids to learn.
Tell us about some of those learning opportunities, how they're embedded at specific times in the video.
Sure. So the animation, you can either just watch it as a video by itself, so you can watch segments of the video or the entire 10-minute video, and that's like our play together function. But we also have another function called learn together, and in that function, it's the same video content as before, except we've embedded these bubble times, we call them, but they are learning prompts for the parent and child to practice developmental skills. So after the characters model a certain behavior, then instructions pop up for the parent to then practice the skill with the child. They then enter data about how their child performed while they were practicing that skill, and then the video turns back on to provide reinforcement for the child.
Okay.
So we've kind of taken principles of applied behavior analysis and embedded those, and then we took a lot of the techniques from video modeling, so not having very many background distractions and trying to really over exaggerate the social interactions between the characters. And yeah, I think it's really interesting because when adults watch it, it's very boring and slow, and because there's just not much going on, and it's really it's characters kind of modeling appropriate behavior that we want
Right.
to see in our kids, right?
Right.
So, but whenever kids are in front of it, they are just totally, involved and really engaged. And so I think that it's nice that we have the options for parents depending on how their child is feeling that day and like what things the parent's interested in practicing. But one of the great things is that we have like a pre-questionnaire before, like when a parent first opens up a chapter or an episode rather. So if you were to open up episode 2, and it'll go through and kind of ask you what skills your child needs to practice, and that can be used as a way for you to know what to practice down the road.
Great.
Right?
And what age is this really targeted at, or age range is it targeted at?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So we are targeting children. Obviously, the American Psychological Association doesn't want, or the American Pediatric Association does not want children under the age of 2 viewing screen media. So we start at 2, and then we say to about your developmental age of 7, but that's obviously developmental, right? It's not
Right.
chronological. So
Yes.
being kind of aware of that. I guess what our go-to is we say, download the app because it's free.
Right.
And then have your child watch it and see if it's something that they enjoy. I know a lot of therapists, before we had the interactive quality with the bubble times and the data collection, they would just use it as reinforcers for,
Right.
at the end of a session
Yeah.
or something like that. But the great part is that you can, once you have access to all the video content, you can pick which skills you want to practice. There's 3 skills and 1 song that allow like sensory social routines. So you practice kind of like the gestures and songs. So that's kind of our standard skills for each episode, but then we also have a free song that's just for fun for kids and parents to engage with.
And so the app is free, and
Yeah.
we need to let everybody know that, so you can download the app. It's entirely free, and the first chapter, the first in the series, they're not really chapters, the first episode.
Yeah.
The first episode is free.
Yes.
So that you can try it out and see whether you like it. Then if you decide, hey, this is really cool, and I think that people will, because we're all looking for ways in which we can maximize the amount of hours and opportunities that we're working with our kids, right?
Absolutely.
And we say that all the time on the show, but a lot of parents go, I don't really know how to do that, right?
Sure,
And,
it's difficult.
right? It's overwhelming.
It's really difficult.
But so this is a great way. This is something because it's got those 2 different features to it. So when therapy ends and you're going into the kitchen and you got to start dinner,
And you're getting your child, they're off on their, electronic device.
right? So
they could
instead,
be doing this.
you give them the electronic device and they're watching the video, right? And they
Right.
like to watch things repetitively,
Yeah,
which it goes in our favor when
Right,
this is concerned.
right.
So you're getting
Sure.
dinner together, they're watching the video, and then maybe after dinner, and when you're trying to do the wind down time, when you still want to be maximizing opportunity, you sit and watch the same video with them and go through the skills with it. So you're interacting with your child and you're maximizing their care.
Yeah,
So
there
when
you
you
go.
want to buy, the first in the series comes for free, and then when you want to buy the others in the series, you said it's just $1.99 to buy the next in the series. So it's
Yeah.
not a huge. First of all, you're
Investment,
gonna
no.
try
No.
it to see whether you like it and whether it works for you and your child. But then if you decide you do like it, just know that it's not this big. Oh my gosh, how are we going to afford this?
Right.
And right now you have the first 3 episodes available, and 4 through 6 are in the works, coming to us a little bit later on.
Yes.
Which I know people will love hearing that. Let's kind of pivot now. You mentioned that you're doing your study for your dissertation, but there's another study that that this is involved with it as well, correct? That's more on the technology end. Tell us about that study.
Yeah, so we developed a brief survey, and we are hoping to get people in the local area to come in for focus groups or do interviews either on the phone or in person, just so we can get a better understanding of how parents are using technology with their kids, and if to see if our app is really meeting the needs of the families, because it's really interesting. It's really easy to say, oh, well, we're using evidence-based principles and we're incorporating them into this and it should work, but we really do want feedback from parents and to see what's working and what's not working.
So if you're in the San Diego or Los Angeles area, you can participate in that. Who do they need to talk to about doing that?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So say where we can get a hold of you again so that they'll know.
Sure. So it's Gerin@seabeneath.org.
We're going to need to spell all of that out for people because
Sure.
they're all
Yeah.
interesting spellings.
Sure.
So let's spell it out, and maybe Samantha can be listening as well, and put it up on the screen for us when we're done.
Say it again.
So it's Gerin and then CSEEBENEATH.org.
Okay.
O-R-G.
Okay.
And they can also learn more about Aiko and Egor by going to www.aiko, A-I-K-O, and Egor, EGOR.org.
And I don't think there can be any doubt that this is where therapy is going.
Yeah.
Like anybody who's in denial about that, let's all wake up a little
Yeah.
bit and know this is where therapy is going because it makes sense. First of all, our kids like the technology. We know that they learn from it.
And it requires not necessarily a body in the room that costs a lot of money.
Right, and you know, we know that we want our kids to be getting 30 and 40 hours a week, but that you want to maximize every single hour. So if they're gonna have the technology in their hands, let's do it mindfully and have it be useful. So you are also fundraising right now to be able to do other projects because you see this. You're at the forefront of this, right? You see this, and you're wanting to also further develop games and things like that to go along with this. So tell us about what you're seeking for your fundraising in case there's somebody listening that's like, well, I want to be involved in it.
Sure. Thanks for the opportunity to share. So right now we're fundraising to create a game. We've gotten feedback from parents that they think that having an additional way to practice skills would be a great way to kind of have the child practice independently. Because what we've done in the parent-child learn together function is that a parent has to be there and answer kind of multiplication questions to make sure that the parent is with the child because we want to make sure that the data we're collecting about the child is valid and
Makes sense.
real.
And it does take data, and we want to talk about that in a second, but finish talking about this.
Sure. So also, like we were saying, the data that we collect right now is just coming to us, and so we want to make that available to the families and the educators that use the app. So we're fundraising for that as well. And we would really like to have, you have your community and your network and you know people that when you see something, you know that people can benefit from that. So we're trying to incorporate like a sharing mechanism so that if I know or if you know that I would love it, you can email it to me and then it's not necessarily, it's something that can happen in the moment and not something that you then have to put on your plate to do later, and add to your ongoing list of things.
So how can people help you with your fundraising efforts? How do they get in touch with you? Do they email you?
Emailing is great. We're also at like all San Diego autism events.
I always see you when we're at events. I don't know how you and I have never met because when I think there's that down moment when you go and tour other booths and I've been to your booth and you weren't there and you've been to my booth and I wasn't there. Absolutely. But I always see everything I'm at. I'm like, there they are. Which is great. I mean, you're getting out there, which is fabulous.
Well, best of luck to you. And I'm sure a lot of our families will be checking this out and I'm really excited to see it. And, I just want to commend you for, you were inspired by your relationship with your brother. How old is your brother now?
He's 35.
Okay, how's he doing?
He's good. He's good. He lives with my family, my parents and my grandma, and he is really sweet. He loves telling jokes. He loves smiling. He loves laughing.
Wonderful, though, that you were inspired by being his sister to work in this field, that you've really taken that and made it into a positive. So Shannon and I really respect you for that.
Oh,
absolutely.
Thanks.
Okay, and wish you nothing but the best.
Oh, thank you.
And again, so for when people want to download the app, they can go and look up Aiko and Egor, Aiko A-I-K-O and Egor E-G-O-R, and the company is See Beneath.
Yes.